start the recording here. So we're getting ready for ringing in the new year, and I found this quotation it's really quite beautiful. I thought. So I'll read it to you, and you can see what you think. It's by Roger Ebert, Ebert, and he says, "I believe prayer that makes requests is pointless." There's Danielle. Um, he says, "I believe prayer that makes requests is pointless. What will be, will be. But I value the kind of prayer when you stand at the edge of the sea or beneath a tree or smell a flower or love someone or do a good thing. Those prayers validate existence and snatch it away from meaningless routine." And that's not to tell you not to pray making requests, because I think those requests are heard and answered, but it's just an interesting viewpoint. And I love the kind of prayer that he does um, uh, admire or honor. So I think all prayers are good, but I just thought it was beautiful the way he described the kind of prayer that he values. So it's just something to think about, and um, to start off our yoga practice. So hi Danielle, welcome. All right, so and I have to turn off my sound. Sorry, I didn't do that before. I forgot. So there was another really beautiful quote here that is a little bit along the same lines. It's by Katherine Mansfield, and she says, "Wind moving through the grass so that the grass quivers. This moves me with an emotion that I don't even understand." So I don't know if you've ever done that, just been outdoors, even in your own yard, and you see the grass that just glistens in the sunlight as the wind blows through it, causing it to quiver. It is a beautiful sight. So I guess our theme today is beauty and prayers. So we'll just come into center around that, honoring your own beauty and those things that you value. So be sure to reach up through your crown, letting go of the external world, coming into your internal awareness. Just honoring this now moment. And think of all the beautiful things you've seen in your life as we start to leave this year and head into a new year. Where have you been where you saw amazing beauty? And now that's in your memory to appreciate. What types of things was it that you saw as beautiful? Was it nature? Was it structure? People? And as we're ready to leave this year and head into a new one, we'll have new experiences of beauty and new memories. Bring your attention to your breathing. And then notice any emotions that you may be feeling, or maybe at the door wanting to be acknowledged and opened. For some people, the holidays bring up a lot of emotion, all kinds. Just see if there's anything needing to be acknowledged in this moment. And then check in with your physical body, noticing any sensation in your muscles and your joints. And you can move around a little bit to check on those areas. Now I would ask that you just hold your hands out in front of you, palms facing you, and look at your hands. Look at the shape they make. Look at the I want to call them wrinkles, the lines in your hands that have meaning, whether we know it or not. Recognizing all the work that these hands do, and that they are your creative expression, the hands of God. The source, at least as far as we know, doesn't have actual hands, but we do, so we can be the hands of God. And recognize too, as you honor your hands and the energy that goes up your heart, your arms, and to your heart, just cross your hands over your heart, because it's your hands that are expressing your heart energy. through healing, through work. And in that, notice your own beauty, the beauty within you that comes from the source. So we have to honor that because it is the source energy. And we'll just bring our palms together and attune to breath. Just breathe your arms up overhead and open the arms out, opening your heart as well as you circle your arms around. And 2 more rounds. Last time. All right. And then just we'll lean forward, bring your palms onto the mat, and just slide your hands forward for a little stretch. Notice your low back. See how it feels as you stretch forward, your shoulders. And then bring your forearms in a little bit. And then see if you can press up, just kind of roll up onto your knees, uncross your legs, and take your legs back, bringing the balls of your feet into an elbow plank, and stretch your heels away, lengthening in your calf muscles and loosening up. And then let your knees come down and pull back into a puppy stretch. Loosening shoulders. We want to keep the energy clear, especially in our hands, our arms, our shoulders, and up into our heart center. And this time, just lift up, toes under, and come into your downward facing dog. Using the pose to warm up your body, to stretch, to notice the sensations that are happening in your body. You can walk in place to stretch in your calves. We'll come into three-legged dog. So press down in your right foot and lift your left leg up. Bend your knee and lower your knee. And then lift your leg back up again. Just loosening in your hip. Bring your knee in towards your face and take it up to the ceiling. And then bend your knee. This time, open the hip. Shoulders stay forward. Open the hip to stretch the psoas muscles. Keep lifting your knee up.
And then bring it down. Okay, just lower your knees down and come back into your plank pose so that you can bend your elbows here, still working the core and your legs, hips, lengthen out. And then pull back into your puppy stretch. This is good for the spine too because you're pressing your chest towards the floor. And it gives a stretch in your spine. And then toes under, press up into your down dog. Check out your calf muscles this time around. See how they feel. The backs of your knees, your hamstrings. And then take your right leg up into three-legged dog. And bend your knee. Bring your knee down towards your face. And then just swing it back up into three-legged. Bring your knee down and take it back up. Reach. And then bend that knee and open the hip. Keep lifting the leg up. And then bring it back down onto the mat. Okay. Walk your feet in and then take them out to the side. Heels out, toes in. Bring your palms towards you under your shoulders and just bend your knees side to side. All right, now lift your hips, straightening both knees, and walk your hands over to your left foot or ankle and just stretch in for a head to knee stretch. Just touch the edge, and then if you need to come out, take in a breath. And exhale, come back in and release. Take in a breath. Exhale. And see if you can hold the stretch. And then just walk your hands across center and over to your right leg. Just touching your edge, coming into wherever you can, and release. We're still warming up, so we don't have to rush into anything. Just coming in to stretch and release. Take in your breath and exhale down to your leg and hold your stretch. Breathe. All right, and then walk your hands back under your palms. And here we'll come into monkey pose. So come up onto your fingertips, lift your chin, and lift your tailbone. Take in your breath and exhale, stretching down. towards both knees. And then lift up into monkey on your fingertips. Lift your chin and your tailbone. And exhale last time, down over your legs. All right, just walk your hands forward, slide them forward, hop your feet in together, and then walk them towards your hands into head to knee. All right. And then we'll come into chair pose. Bend your knees. Separate your feet about hip width so you have your chair, bringing arms out to your side, lifting up, arms overhead, and reach. Reach up out of your hips. So you're sinking your hips down, but reaching your torso up, shoulders and arms. And then bring your arms down. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Take in a breath and stretch your arms away. And lift them up behind you. You can take your head back if you want to release tension or give a good stretch in your neck. And then draw your arms down. Just pull them towards the floor, opening the shoulders. All right, from here, just shift the weight over to your right foot and slide your left leg back into warrior one legs. Let your arms out to the side for arrow pose. Just a slight lean forward. Whoops, not too far. Just a slight lean forward. Press your feet into the mat as though you're trying to pull it apart with your feet. Now bring your arms up overhead. You can either bring your hands together in Kali Mudra or just reach through your fingertips. Either way is fine. So reaching up and open into your warrior two pose. I think your hips should be open from the stretch we did, but if you need some vinyasa moves, then that's fine. All right. We'll turn our palms up, come back into warrior one. Now shift the weight onto the front foot and lift into warrior three, balancing stick. And then bring the foot in, palms together, separate your feet, chair pose, arms behind you, open the shoulders, pull the arms up and down. Shift the weight over onto your left foot. Reach back with the right leg into your warrior one.
Release your arms for arrow pose. A slight hinge forward. We are the arrow that's being thrust into the new year for new adventures and journeys. And then bring arms up overhead. Reach, and we'll pivot into our warrior two. Breathe and exhale out into warrior two. Holding your pose, open the knee, the shoulders. Notice your core. Bring the back foot in just a little bit and return to warrior one. Draw your arms back, pull your shoulders back. Shift the weight to the front foot and then lift. Spot something, a mark on the floor, and lift your back leg up into warrior three. Keep lifting the shoulders. Reach. And pull the foot in, palms together. And pause for just a moment and imagine on a spring day with the sun shining overhead and you're in a grassy area and you see the sun glistening on those blades of grass, and they shine as the wind causes the grass to quiver. Simple beauty. Simple appreciation. All right, so we'll soften our knees. Step the right leg back once again into warrior one. And reach the arms up overhead, together or separate. And reach up. Give yourself a stretch to the back this time. Looking up, opening the chest and the ribs, the diaphragm, the psoas muscles. And then open the arms, come passing through center and reach for the floor. And slide the back foot back so that you're in your sun pose, that sun that glistens on the grass. And then lift your left arm up into a twist. And bring it back down. And step the back foot in. And coming up, back into chair pose. Breathe. And take your left leg back into warrior one. Reach it up. Lift up out of your hips. Press the back heel down to the floor and arch to the back. Open the front of your body. And then come to center and pass through center right on through, bringing your hands down for your sun pose. Let the back foot slide out if it needs to. Lift your chin and imagine that glistening grass. All right. Now just step back into plank pose. Bring your left knee forward for pigeon pose. Lift up in your torso, just like you did in warrior. Bring the foot forward as much as you're able to. And hips pointing forward. Now take in your deep breath. Reach up through your crown. Exhale. And starting at your hips, bring your torso down over your leg until your head reaches the floor. Now start with your head and lift your torso. Now come over onto that left hip. Bring both knees together. Arms reach forward and come into the half boat. Draw the knees in close and they're side by side together. Now let your legs down and pivot, but bring your right leg bent in front. And this time, take the left leg back into pigeon. Notice how this feels compared to the first side. Is it easier or harder? What do you notice? And reach that foot back. Just press down on the top of the ball of your foot. Pull your heel away and then set your knee back down and bring your torso up into pigeon. And then starting at your hips, just roll down over your leg, extending through your crown. Relax into sleeping pigeon. Lengthen through your crown. Draw away from your hips. Feel that stretch increase in your right hip. And now, starting with your head, roll back up. And then come over onto your right hip. Bring both knees together for your half boat. Extending arms forward. Knees are together, ankles together. And lift your toes, lift up into half boat. Now, if you're feeling ambitious and you want to lift your legs all the way up, then you can do that here. Now, just to play with this a little bit, because we did quite a few stretches for the back of the legs, just grab a hold of your legs, balance on your hips. Feet can be flexed or pointed, either way, but see if you can pull your legs in towards your head, your face. Just pull in, keep stretching long, stretching. That's a new word. That's a technical term, right? Come in for your stretch, head to knee. Release your stretch. Let your legs back out. Now lift your arms up overhead. We're going to see if we can bring our arms and legs down onto the floor at the same time. Ah! Let it all go. Let your arms relax overhead. Do bring your hips under so your low back can relax into the floor. Stretch long. Now bend both knees, bring them in. Reach for your ankles and pull your feet just outside of your hips, and a thigh stretch because we stretch the back of the legs. Now we want to give some time stretching the front of the legs. So draw your knee down towards the floor. Now you can increase the stretch as you press your knee down to the floor. Lift your hip, press your hip forward, and you'll get an awesome stretch in your quadricep muscles. Now switch legs, give that one a little break. Come to the other leg and draw it down. Knee towards the floor. Press the hip forward. Now just a couple of pumps, pressing the knee down, stretching the hip forward, and switch other leg. Once more each side. All right, now bring your feet together, knees are still bent. Take your arms out to the side. Roll your hips under, you press your low back into the floor. Cross your right leg over the left. Draw your knees in towards your chest. We'll come into a knee down twist. So take in your breath and exhale, legs over to the left. Your feet will reach the floor first, so let yourself down easy into your twist, using your feet to monitor your movement. And shoulders remain on the floor as best you can. Turn your head away from your knees and luxuriate in a beautiful twist, wringing out the old, making way for the new beauty. Now slowly just roll your sacrum back onto the mat. Bring your knees back up to center and Switch legs. Take your left leg over the right. Press your shoulders down. Take in your breath. Exhale, legs over to the right, head left. Take your time. Let the stretch happen. Breathe. Now gently roll your sacrum back onto the mat. Let your knees come up. Unwind your legs. Just place your hands on your knees or shins and come in for a rounding. Knees come into your head, knee to nose. And then roll down. Let your feet come down onto the floor. Slide your feet out. Make sure your shoulder blades are rolled under and your hips are rolled under. Let your arms relax. Relaxing in Savasana now. That image of the grass glistening in the sun and being blown in the wind is very meaningful to me, because when I was at Kripalu for my teacher training, I meditated and I wanted to take myself home for a moment. And when I came here to home, it was my house that I had at that time. I was tiny and I was in the grass. I was at grass level. My consciousness had come and I was watching the grass on the ground. I mean, I didn't have a body. It was just my consciousness, but it was so beautiful. As you reach your deeper states of relaxation, just reflect on the beauty when you've been at the edge of the sea or the ocean, or stood or sat even beneath a tree, or smelled a flower, or loved someone, or when you did a good thing. All forms of prayer and beauty. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Start to return to the physical dimension. Feel the results of your work and your relaxation. Bring some soft movements. Let your fingers be like the blades of grass blowing in the wind, glistening, shining brightly, the same color, your heart chakra down into your arms and hands as the grass. And slide your feet together and lift your knees up to your chest. Roll to one side and come into sitting. Hands in your favorite mudra. or one that you choose. The one for the bees is where you take your index finger and you fold it in to your thumb, kind of like you're making a little O, and then touch your second finger to your thumb, and you have your bee mudra. The bees can be in the flowers. Sealing in the benefits of your work, and then bringing palms together in prayer hands. May you recognize beauty all around you and within yourself. You can only be beautiful because you are from the source. So namaste, everybody.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yes, that was. Yeah, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you for saying